Hey guys, Cam here from Pocket-lint, and DJI has launched a brand new drone. It's called the Mavic Air 2 and it sits between the Mavic Mini, the really small toy drone, and the Mavic 2, which are the more higher end drones. We have one here, and since testing isn't the easiest thing in the world to do right now, we thought we'd unbox it and show you what it's like to set up and give you a quick brief overview of the hardware and the changes. As with most previous models, the retail box is a simple white square with a picture of the drone on the top. And the drone sits in a dedicated recess in the top tray, and all the other bits and pieces are underneath. So first up you get to the paperwork, and it includes a quick start guide which we highly recommend reading, in particular if this is going to be your first drone. Now next is one of the biggest changes, and it's the new controller. It's not a tiny control pad with flimsy grips anymore, it's a much bigger, more solid controller. It has the landing and power buttons on the front, along with a switch for selecting the flight modes. Now, like some of the previous ones, it has removable joysticks, and these are stored in a couple of small rubber-lined recesses in the bottom edge, on either side of the Type-C port. And the joysticks have jagged teeth on the top and rubber around the edges, giving you a good amount of grip when you need to use them. Now, instead of having those fiddly grips on the bottom edge for holding a smartphone, this new controller has a much more sturdy and less fiddly grip on the top edge. It extends out, but has a good amount of resistance to hold your phone in place. At its base, the cable for connecting to your phone is neatly tucked away, and the iPhone Lightning cable is installed as standard. There's also the trigger button for snapping photos and video, as well as the scroll wheel for adjusting the angle of the camera. Now onto the other accessories, and they're all in this accessories box. It includes the power brick, which has a non-removable cable for charging the battery, as well as a USB Type-A port for plugging in your controller as well. Now while the iPhone's cable is installed in the controller as standard, it does come with a short Type-C and micro USB cable for Android smartphones as well. And then of course there's a cable for charging up the actual physical controller. Then there are a few small bags, and this is where you'll find replacement joysticks and the drone's propeller blades. Now installing these propeller blades is actually really easy because DJI has done a great job of labeling the bags to make sure you know where each blade goes. So you'll see a blue B label on some bags and a yellow A label on others, and then you'll see the corresponding stickers and labels on the arms that they go in. Now if you look closely at the blades, you'll notice that it shows you which way you need to rotate them once they're pushed into their motors. This ensures they're fixed in properly and won't just come off when you try to fly the drone. Once pushed and rotated correctly, they're in and you can get ready to fly. Now onto the drone itself, and design-wise things have changed quite a bit from the first generation model. It's much more in line with the other machines in the Mavic lineup, with that shark nose on the front and the camera mounted to a 3-axis gimbal underneath. It's had its camera capabilities upgraded too. There's a 48 megapixel sensor on it, and this uses pixel binding to create a 12 megapixel image by default, and has a bunch of smart photo modes, including an updated HDR feature, a new low light feature, and automatic scene detection and optimization. Of course, video has been improved as well. We've got 4K video, which can now go up to 60 frames per second. And you also get full HD slow motion video that can record at up to 240 frames per second. It's got upgraded obstacle avoidance as well, using DJI's latest APAS 3.0 technology. And what this means simply is that when you're flying fairly low and you come across obstacles, instead of just stopping, it'll map a new path and just carry on going and avoid those obstacles as it's flying forwards. And the sensors on the underside of the drone now include depth sensors and an LED light, so in addition to the cameras that recognize patterns helping you to land, it also knows or has a more accurate representation of how far it is from the ground and can measure that. Now it doesn't have obstacle avoidance sensors on the sides, but it does have them on the front and the back, as well as those ones underneath. It can fly up to 42.5 miles an hour in sport mode and cope with wind speed up to around 23 miles an hour. And with OcuSync 2.0, its controller can live stream footage from the drone from about 10 kilometers away, and it does so at HD resolution. But given most rules and regulations with drone flying in most countries, we wouldn't recommend testing this distance, because you should always be able to see your drone and control it that way by eyesight alone. Now the first step is charging the batteries. Now the 3,500 mAh battery is installed on top of the drone. You remove it by pressing the buttons on either side and just lifting it out. The connector for the battery only fits one way, so you can't really get that wrong. And when connected, the lights on the drone's power button light up to show you how much charge is in it. Once fully charged, DJI says this battery can give you 34 minutes of flight time from this drone. And that's actually pretty incredible considering the size of the drone and the type of drone that it is. It's a massive improvement on the 20 minutes you got from the first Mavic Air. Of course, you do need to plug in the controller as well to make sure that is fully charged. Now, while they're charging, you may as well download and install the DJI Fly app from the App Store or the Play Store. And once they're charged, put the battery back in the drone, connect your phone to the controller before fitting it in its holder. Now launch the app and power the controller up by double pressing and then holding the controller's power button. Now double press and hold the button on the drone, and then the controller and the drone should automatically recognize each other and pair up. The first time you do this, as is normally the case, you'll have to sign up and register your drone. Once that's all done, you're ready to fly, and actually flying is as easy as just tapping the Go Fly icon. At this point, you will see a feed from the camera actually show up on your iPhone screen. So on first impressions, it certainly looks and feels like a high-end Mavic drone, but in a smaller body. And with the pricing starting at £769 or $799 US, it's not too expensive either. We're looking forward to testing it some more over the coming days. I've been Cam, I'm at Cam Bunton on pretty much all the important social media networks. You can follow me there. If you want to see more videos from us, please do hit that subscribe button and hit thumbs up if you like this one. And I'll see you again in the next one.